Hi YouTube, it's Tracy from Entrepreneur Girl, and behind me I have my mountain of books from a book sale that I went to the other day. And for today's Tracy's Tuesday Tips, we are going to be covering books and why they are such a good inventory source and why they are a terrific place to start if you're just getting started with eBay or Amazon FBA. So the books that I have behind me, I got from a book sale from the public library. Most public libraries have book sales either once or twice a year, and they're put on by a Friends of the Public Library System. So I Googled Friends of Lee County Public Library, and I was able to look up dates and places of where these book sales were so that I can put it on my calendar and go. And as you saw in my last video, I think it was retail arbitrage book sales, I went and asked who was in charge of the book sale so that I could, network with her and meet her and kind of tell her a little bit about myself, give her my card and say, hey, what do you do with all the books that you don't sell? And they had a lot of books at the last sale. So I was able to get 2,000 books, over 2,000 books for $50, which was wonderful. And this trip I was able to get, I know it's at least 300 books for $30. So I got less books and paid a little bit more for them, but I'm still super excited. So when I break down the cost of each book, I'm really only paying about a nickel or a dime, depending on the sale. So I'm really happy about that. But I started both my eBay and my Amazon accounts with books. One, because I love them. I'm an avid reader. I love books. So it's just, I'm kind of navigate towards them all the time naturally. But books are really great because they're so easy to find. You can find them at garage sales, thrift stores. Heck, you can even find them at the grocery store. Books are everywhere. The second reason I like them is they're really inexpensive. Like I said, I'm getting my books for 5 or 10 cents. Sometimes I'll pay a quarter at a garage sale if, I find good finds. But I almost never anymore pay above that. When I first started, I wouldn't pay above $1. Now I'm kind of at least half of that. And I really only I'm just so cheap. I just really only like to pay a quarter per book. But they're inexpensive. They're everywhere. So that makes them a really good inventory source, especially if you're just starting out and don't have a lot of money, because they are easy to find. You don't have to overthink how to get inventory too much. You don't have to have a lot of money to get started. The third thing I like about them is they're really easy to ship. They're not bulky and for the most part big. They stack nicely in boxes. So for the Amazon warehouse, I can fit 45 books in a box and ship it for $20, which is a lot better than if I'm shipping other items that are bigger or bulkier. Per item cost of shipping is higher. So for all of those reasons, oh, and another thing, they don't break, I don't have returns. So it's just a nice product to have. And a lot of people dismiss this. They don't like books because they say, oh, well, with the Kindle books, the ebooks, they're just going to be fading out. I haven't found that to be true. I kind of thought it too myself, but I haven't noticed any difference at all. People still buy books. They still want a hard copy book, or sometimes they can't find the book in ebook. If you're looking for a vintage book or a mechanics book or a picture book, they still want those books in their hand. So I find that it sells just as good today as it did when I first started. And the second reason they don't like it is a thing called penny books. You go on eBay sometimes and you see that they're selling a book for a penny and $3.99 shipping, and you think, how in the world are they making any money? That's ridiculous. Well, it doesn't cost $3.99 to ship a book. It costs, $2.20 maybe. So they are making money in the shipping. So they're making, probably a couple dollars per book. You take away the fees, they're at least popping out $1.20 or something per book. So if you calculate it that way and they're selling hundreds of books a day, it can be a viable business for them because of the quantity of what they're selling and shipping. And there are lots of people out there that do that. You know, they literally have thousands and thousands of books listed. They're selling hundreds every day, so they're able to sustain that. So, but the penny books, even on Amazon, you'll look. I liken penny books to like romance novels, books that just aren't very popular. Some kids' books even, you know, the thinner, unknown ones, they just don't sell for a lot. So they might sell for, you know, a few dollars on Amazon, but your profit margin is just so low. So if you're looking for the dollar and lots of quantity, you have the time, you know, to ship a lot and list a lot and buy a lot, that's terrific. But really where you want to be with books is in your nonfiction. I try to buy nonfiction books. Books that I love are, like I said, vintage books, vintage cookbooks, you know, go really well. Just about any vintage book I like. Coffee table books, and by that I mean, you know, pictures of sailboats or pictures of race cars. There are people that are really interested in those niches, and they buy a lot of books to look at, to display around their house. One time I bought a sailboat book at a garage sale, and it had pictures of sailboats on each page with a little blurb about them, like where it came from and the history of the sailboat. And that book sold for just under $100 on Amazon. So those are the types of books: textbooks, educational books, religious books, how-to books, self-help books, mechanic books, things like that are always good for a scan in my book. So those are what I kind of look for, and those are what I scan. But when it comes to buying books in bulk, I don't mess with scanning them. I don't sit and scan or tell her I'm only going to take the books that I scan. I load them up in my van. So if you're going to a book sale or you're going to a garage sale and a lady has 4 boxes of books sitting out there and you say, oh, I really don't want to look through these. Can I just take them off your hands for 20 bucks? A lot of times they say, most times they actually say yes. People want to unload their books. They're heavy, they're in the way, they just don't want them. So most times I calculate in my head how many books I think are there, you know, times by 5 cents or 10 cents, and that's the offer I put out. And then if they hem and haw, you know, I might go up a little bit to, you know, whatever I'm comfortable with. But that's a great way to get a lot of books all in one single day. You know, within an hour, you can have hundreds of books for a very low price. So other places that you can get books, Craigslist is a really good place to get books. Any type of book sale, not only the library, but other places hold book sales as well. Any thrift store, garage sale, even your friends. My friends, it's amazing how many people just read a book once and want to get rid of it. So they know not to get rid of anything, to make a little pile and then text me or call me, and I will swing by and pick up their pile of goods for free. And you know, we have a good rapport that way. So you can network. You might know somebody that owns a bookstore. You might be able to go and talk to the manager at Barnes & Noble. I mean, if this is something you want to pursue, there are so many options with places to acquire them. So that's how you get into books. That's why you would get into books, and that's kind of a hint on what types of books that you would want to look for. This is a great place to start if you are new. This is where I started eBay. This is where I started Amazon. I didn't have to worry about gated categories or, you know, where to get inventory or which category or what sold best. I just focused on getting my feet wet. I focused on getting started and understanding Amazon and how it worked, and, you know, getting over my nerves with shipping items out without the Amazon police knocking on my door. I needed to just do it. And books was a great place because I wasn't so stressed about the money because it was such a low investment, and I wasn't stressed about something happening to my inventory because it was hardy inventory, and it was just a good place to begin. And so if you are new, I would encourage you to consider starting in books. If you are not selling books, I would encourage you to consider it because it is a good portion of my base pay that I get monthly is in book sales. So it is, you know, can be a lucrative area that you shouldn't necessarily overlook. Now, I know in all my other videos, I've talked about, make at least $10, per item and all of that. So let's just address that. Because with books, the profit margin is lower. The reason I exempt myself from my own $10 rule for books is because I can get them in bulk for very low cost. And it's easy to list and it's easy to ship. So I don't have, it's my time and money. So when I go to a store and I'm getting in a car and I'm driving to retail arbitrage and I'm having to look for things and scan a bunch of things and invest all of that time, I want to be making sure that I'm making enough profit to compensate me. So I want to be looking for inventory that has at least a $10 net profit for me, because I've spent a lot of time, driving and getting and bringing back and listing. Okay, books are a little bit different. Like I said, I went the last 30 minutes of the book sale. I probably spent another hour, loading and unloading. So say I had 2 hours investment, I got 2,000 books. So my inventory was 2,000 in 2 hours, and I only spent $50. So that offsets my $10 rule because of the mere, quantity that I have and the ease in which it would be for me to ship and list and all that other stuff. So just in case you were thinking that in the back of your head. So this is what I did a couple days ago. Had another book sale. I went to the same lady and this is what I got. Book sale today. So we are going to hit it. Happens twice a year. And last time we did really good, didn't we, Aiden? It's my helper today. You have muscles?
Yeah, I guess.
You had to beat the boys out. And there's also a big garage sale at the Catholic Church. So we're going to do our first haul video today and show you where we're going and what we find. Okay, so the book sale is at the Catholic Church, and the Catholic Church is having a huge garage sale, so it's packed, but they're both in one location, so that's good. Last year they were in 2 different locations. So we are going to hit it. So today I'm looking for just Amazon FBA things if I can help myself. I'm trying not to look for eBay items as much as just the Amazon new in the box or gently used that I can put in a warehouse box. Oh no. Put it up there. We should ask. Okay, so I'm stopping to look at anything new in the box. Haven't gotten any.
Oh, that's it's very thin.
Okay, so the bookstore was not at the Catholic Church, the book sale, so we drove to where it was last time that I did a book sale video, and as you saw in that one, I really scored. So I'm hoping to network and connect to the leader girl here named Judy and remind her who I was and get those same amount of books that I got last time. Last time I got 2,000 books for $50, over 2,000, so that was a really good deal, and we'll see if we can duplicate that today, see if it worked.
Yeah.
Hi again.
Hi.
Hi Judy.
Okay, we're starting to work. Things that are under the table are yours again.
Okay.
Okay?
Stuff under the table, so this is first. The bigger on the bottom, the dolly on the bottom. Okay, so get the dolly up here. Handy dandy dolly. Let's get it done. Builds muscles. I don't want to hurt our little vintage thing here. Pretty good day of sourcing, don't you think, Aiden?
Yes, ma'am.
Plenty good.
And that's how it's done when you're an eBayer, Amazoner. Okay, so we counted, we have about 30 boxes this trip. So we have about one load, which is almost exactly half of what I had last time. And we paid $30 for 30 boxes of books. So it's going to be less than 10 cents per book, probably around 5 cents, depending on the actual numbers. But this is the way to acquire books. Now some of these I won't be able to use, you know, they're going to be penny books, romance novels and such that I won't try to sell. I'll just either eBay them in bundles or I'll put them in the reject box. But the rest, I'm going to go through these and try to Amazon what I can, and then eBay what I can't, and then reject box what I can't do with either one of those. So today was a good day.